Hello, welcome back to Mature Racing Club's Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. Bit of a special one, this one. So, as things sometimes go with sim racing leagues, people drop out partway through the leagues. Life comes first for a lot of people. So with this one, two lobbies that had a lot less people in them than they started out with, Fusion and Pro 1, they merged for this one. So it goes Fusion, Elite 1, Pro 1. So Pro 1 is Tier 3, but actually it's a Pro 1 driver that stuck it on pole. It's a Pro 1 driver that put it in P3, and then there's another Pro 1 driver in P6. So they're not exactly slow, so let's walk you through the grid. P1 Dylan, obviously a Pro 1 driver. He is a quick guy. He's definitely got Fusion pace. Then we've got JRC Racing, a good result for JRC in P2. Mental Nev, someone I've got a lot of experience racing in P3. GT Deli B, Fusion leader, is P4. White Shark Jim in P5. Matt Elwood in P6. Robust Hood, P7. White Shark Phil in P8. Potter McPot, P9, with Fat Pickles Bro in P10. And we've got Rick in P11. Diablo in P12, Valium in P13, and Street Boy in P14. So we do have a pretty full lobby tonight. We are at Interlagos in the Ferrari 458. This is half an hour's worth of racing. It's a short little sprint down to the Federasses where all the cars will be vying for the same piece of tarmac. Dylan is getting away first. JRC's made a good start. Deli B's gonna try and go for a bite at Mental Nerve. He's gonna have to sling it around the outside though. Lovely move by Deli B to get himself up to P3. Is White Shark Jim going for him around the outside as well? Matt Elwood's had a good start. He's up to P5. So the South African minute just hanging on to his Pro 1 compadre. You've got Robust Hood trying to get himself down the inside of White Shark Jim as well. This is going to bring Potter McPot into play. He's a very opportunistic bloke. He's Potter McPot. He will be all over the back of this. You can see on board Potter McPot now. We've got White Shark Jim alongside us. Potter actually breaks a little bit early there, gets out of the way. He might be going for the inside line. Actually drives it round the outside as Robust locks the wheel. Potter's going to try and go up the inside of White Shark Jim instead. Meanwhile, P1 Dylan is still leading the way at the top. We've got JRC, GT Deli B, P3, Mental Nev P4, Matt Elwood P5, Robust up P6, White Shark Jim still holding P7, Potter McPot P8. He's coming under pressure from White Shark Phil now in the Castrol car. Fat Pickles wearing the very pink Ricky J inspired livery, I think, in P10. Rick 33 GTR in the Castrol. Very heavily inspired by the old Castrol Supra, P11. Then we've got Valium and the other Castrol Racing car in P12, Diablo in P13 and Street Boy P14. So not much in terms of order changing as we come across the line to start lap 2. But P1 Dylan holding a commanding lead over JRC Racing, who's starting to come under a bit of pressure from his teammate Deli B. I wouldn't imagine JRC will hold Deli B up here. I would think team orders might actually come into this one. The old Mike Fernando is faster than you, do you understand message might come over the pit wall in a moment. For the time being though, JRC is earning his money. He's out in P2. Deli B is up the inside though, and they're going to go side by side here from turn number 6. And yeah, Deli B gets himself through. So JRC didn't fight that one. Good team play. They've got a driver like Mental Nev chasing them down, and that's definitely not what you want. Matt Elwood representing quite well in P5 at the minute. He's got Robust Hood chasing him down. He's slowly getting dropped by the top few, but he's probably getting some pressure from behind as well. Potter hasn't been able to take advantage of his early pace here. He's got a White Shark Phil on his back end. I'll just sip my cup of tea. Let's have a look at what the leader's doing. So Dylan then still leading the way, with the top 4 now breaking away a little bit. We've not had any incidents or anything yet, which is good to see. All drivers away cleanly. just the bottom drivers. Those you see Diablo. Street Boy's got past Diablo somewhere. I think Diablo's made a mistake to be that far back. As we did see up ahead, Fat Pickles broke White Shark Phil battling away. Cut away from the camera just as that was getting exciting. White Shark Phil then got himself up to P9. Can now get another job of trying to chase down Potham and Pot. Not much change at the top. We did just have some cars side by side. That was Deli B having an attack on P1 Dylan. Dylan, oh, I thought he was going wide there, but he actually tidied that up really nicely mid-corner. P1 Dylan at the minute is definitely earning his money in the Fusion lobby. I don't think he's driven in the GTTCC that much. That might explain his ranking. The theory is with the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, you start at the bottom and you just work your way up. Although some drivers are just too fast for the league, they do get moved up prematurely. It's just to keep the leagues competitive and the racing fun for people. If you've got like 3 or 4 aliens in the lobby and everyone else is just getting lapped, it's just no fun for the other guys. So it's done to balance the order a little bit. Yeah, so Matt Elwood then starting to pull away a little bit from Robus to Hodge. White Shark Jim's been on Robus's rear bumper pretty much since the start of the race. These two somewhat inseparable. They are in a lot of the races, to be fair. That's meaning Robus is having to go defensive. Actually, but I was going to say he took the defensive line and backed out of it. I think he's just gonna let Jim go here, potentially. Yeah, he has. So what was happening there, I think, from Robus's perspective, is he saw that they were just losing time. So Matt Elwood's pulling away, and Potham and Pot is reeling them in. So if they just end up squabbling like they are again, if they just end up squabbling, they are just going to lose time to the other cars, and yeah, game over really. Potham and Pot then. Doing a good job in P8. He's got White Shark Phil and Fat Pickles behind, but they're not really posing too much of a threat at the minute. We've got Rick GTI. Is he having a go? I think he might have just overtook Valium, or it was the other way around. Valium was having a bit of an attack on him. But two Castrol teammates don't want to be fighting. They need to play the team game. Street Boy. It's P13, Diablo P14 at the minute. So back up to the top. Dylan is coming under pressure now from GT Deli B. I just got on board with the Fusion Championship leader, so you're getting some slipstream up here. But all cars are equal, don't forget, they're all the exact same spec. There's no tuning, there's no difference between any of the cars. Potentially running different tyres, that's about it. Deli with a slingshot. Dylan is going defensive here, and Deli B is going to go as late on this move as he possibly can, but Dylan holds it wonderfully on the brakes, and there's just no room at the end for GT Deli B there, who couldn't make a move happen coming out of the centre S's. Might have another bite of it coming down into turn 4. A popular overtaking opportunity here at Interlagos. I don't know why though, it's quite a fast braking zone. You have to be quite brave to make a move down here. You don't see much of it happening in real life, but in sim racing it's quite a popular corner to do it. Perhaps because the remainder of the track is actually pretty difficult to get past them. I'm still loving Interlagos, so I was pretty disappointed when I found out that they were on about replacing it for the actual Formula 1, which would be a travesty in my opinion. Fat Pickles Bro's going on the attack again now against White Shark Phil. So you notice the Stewie Mac livery still in action. There's still a lot of drivers running the decals. It was great to see the sim racing community did really pull together during that episode, and obviously a lot of people that were quite heavily affected by it. Good to see the guys and the gals getting behind the family and just generally being good human beings, which was nice to see. So Dylan then still leading the way. We're nearly a third of the way into this race already. It's flown by so far, the first 8 minutes or so. Dylan well and truly leading the way. GT WB is hanging on in there though. These two are starting to drop JRC and Mental Nev a little bit. Matt Elwood's lost a bit of time. White Shark Jim in the last couple of laps has had absolute flyers. He's just reeled in the South African bit by bit and dropped Robert's hood a little bit as well. Pot's trying to get back in on that. His last lap wasn't that impressive though, a 38.2. Which for Potter's standards I know he can do in the 37s. Probably just trying to look after tyres now. You might see that. So you might see these drivers just starting to look after those tyres a little bit. Interlagos is quite high deg. So the top 10 still pretty close. Then you jump back to Rick Valium, P11 and 12. Street Boy and Diablo, 13th and 14th. These guys are starting to close back up a little bit now. So the Ferrari Alpha Tauri, very confusing livery on board. That car is genuinely having a proper pop at JRC Racing now in the monster car. JRC is a bit of a Fusion veteran, been in the league for God knows how long. I was racing that league, me and him had some proper good battles. It's Mental Nev's turn this time though. JRC I think gives him the space to go down the inside. This might end up being actually quite an easy overtake for the Alpha Tauri driver down the inside. JRC gives him all the room in the world. Maybe he goes for a bite back a little bit later on, I'm not too sure. Mental Nev's exit was a little bit untidy, that's given JRC a run on him. Again, down into turn 4, is JRC going to be able to do anything here? He's right up under the rear wing of that Ferrari. Thinks better of it. No contact made between the two, nice and tidy racing. Matt Elwood then starting to put the pressure from White Shark Jim now. So the HKS driver will do well to hold off the current Fusion champion who won it last time. He's your season 12 champion. Hence the number 1 on the number board. Pot's got himself past Robust Hood. He's up to P7 now. Robust just moves to place there unnecessarily. Is he going to try and fight for that back? He is, most certainly, but Potter's a good defensive driver. He can just park that car in the apex, and nothing really Robust is going to be able to do about that immediately. Let's go back and check up at the top, because they'll be getting some slipstream going now. So, approaching lap number 8. Just under 12 minutes left, 12 minutes gone in this race. P1 Dillon still leads to GTTCC. So the way it's going to work with the join lobbies is the race results essentially just going to be split between Fusion and Pro 1 drivers. So if it was to finish like this, both P1 Dillon and GTTCC would pick up winners points for their respective leagues. So they get the full 20 points even if GTTCC finishes second. So he doesn't actually need, really, he doesn't need to go nuts here. It's not like this is losing him 3 points being in second, it's not. So he can sort of stay stationed as long as he's pulling away from the guys behind. So JRC could do him a bit of a favour here and really start to pile the pressure on Mental Nev. Of course you've got Matt Ward and White Shark Jim, these guys are quite quick as well. And we do have potentially pit stops coming up as well, so undercuts and stuff can be triggered if cars are running in traffic. Like your Robust the Hoods, your Fat Pickup Bros, your White Shark Jims may choose to come in a lap earlier and just try the undercut. The problem is though, the field's that compact here though. If a White Shark Jim was to pit, he'd come out probably near these guys. He'd not gain that much time out of it, to be fair. So I don't know, we'll see how it plays out. It's quite a long pit lane here at Interlagos, so I guess we'll see what happens. Jumping back up to the top and see if any of the leaders do stream into the pits. Probably a bit too early for these guys. The leaders do typically want to try and extend that stint. GTTCC might try something drastic, but no, he's not going to pit this time round. I don't think many drivers will, unless they're properly stuck behind another car and it's worth trying it. But the field is starting to spread out a little bit now. We have got a driver in the pit, that's White Shark Phil. It's a bit odd, he wasn't stuck underneath the wing of anyone else. Diablo and probably Rick to an extent. What's happened to Rick? He's had a horror show of a lap somewhere. Let's see if we can see what happened to him. So Rick won't thank me for this, but he did a bit of a Kimi Raikkonen. kind of just went straight on down here. Scared the life out of these spectators down here in this grandstand, and then slick tyres and grass don't really go together, and that's going to put him unfortunately right at the back of the pack with a lot of work to do now. So that's how Rick ended up stone dead last. Sorry, Rick. Meanwhile, White Shark Jim having a pop then. The South African who's defending into turn 4. White Shark Jim's got the overspeed from turn 3. Is he just going to be able to outbrake him? Here he is. Matt Elwood actually backs out with that one. White Shark Jim though does lock his fronts up going into that, as we can see ahead. JRC Mental Nev. What happened between those two? Is this on board JRC? Let's have a look actually. Oh, Mental Nev just broke way too late there then. He's gone deep, gone to the marbles. Compromise his speed. Good to see Mental Nev. Look at that for racecraft though. Look at that. Mental Nev knew that he wanted to invite JRC down that side so that he could defend to the next corner. Good racing. Good racing. I'd like to see that. So that puts Mental Nev back down to P4 then. That's good news for Delhi B, who can now not worry so much about the car behind him, because he knows JRC's raced him over a long time, the teammates. He knows that if the cars behind do catch up, that he's not going to get too much crap from JRC in terms of like he's not going to start going for unnecessary moves. When you're driving with drivers that you don't know much about. Oh, as we say that, commentator's curse, JRC cut. You know what, I just thought then, oh, that line looks a little bit off, and JRC does overcook it. So that has let Mental Nev through, and potentially he's going to give White Shark Jim the one as well. Does anyone opt to pit here? Matt Elwood diving into the pits. JRC's got some defending to do to White Shark Jim, the defending Fusion champion. At this point, GT Delhi B had all but sealed the title. He's had an impeccable season up in Fusion as GT Delhi B, his first time up there. Pretty much at this point, sealed the title. Just clean, consistent performances throughout the entire season. So hopefully we can see him in for next season. We'll see if he returns. At the minute though, he's trying to get P1 in the race outright, and to do that he needs to get past P1 Dylan, who is defending for all he's worth. These guys pretty equally matched in terms of pace. Obviously P1 Dylan's qualified in pole position. He's had a definite right to remain there for this race. GT Delhi B just can't find a Ferrari-sized gap to put his car in, and has to remain where he is. Mental Nev P3. Now that JRC's made that mistake, that's put him off his tail a little bit. JRC instead has got to deal with White Shark Jim. A little bit further back, Pop is moved up to P6 now. No further overtakes that we haven't covered. It's just attrition from pit stops and stuff because Matt Elwood pitted. Robust Hood then finds himself back in a race. P7 for Robust, but Fat Pickles Bro is right on his tail. Valium and Matt Elwood are fighting. Matt, you'll remember, pitted. So I can't imagine Valium would put up too much of a fight. He doesn't. Technically these guys are not in the same race, so there's no point in these two fighting. Valium takes a very late dive into the pit lane there. Diablo P11, White Shark Phil. I want to say he's pitted as well. He pitted the lap before. He's P12. Street Boy P13. Rick P14, but we already know why Rick is down there. So the leaders going side by side. Again, very much like the last lap, Dylan just leaving the door open on the outside for Delhi B, and just managing to defend in time to the current Fusion Championship leader. But Dylan is driving very well in there. We are 17 minutes in, so if these guys are going to pit now, it's probably the best time to do it. They may opt, of course, to no stop this and go for it. Dylan though goes deep there. Delhi's again not managing to get it down the outside here. You don't really want to overtake here because then you're just punching a hole in the air for the other guy. So So you want to remain where you are here. Just chase the driver up the straight. That isn't really a straight, but it's full throttle all the way. So pit stops. Do they try it? No, these guys are going to carry on. So Dylan remains in P1, but GTW is going on the attack as we come down towards the centre S's for the 12th time. Slightly later on the brakes was Delhi, but there's not much grip out there. That's going to drive him wide and onto the marbles. And you can just see how much time that attempted move's lost. Delhi B has got to recover all that time again now. And these guys are dipping into the 38s now, so the tyre wear is starting to kick in for these guys. Mental now. Clear air, no pressure. He's now just going faster. Say that as he sets a lap time, he sets a set to 1/2 a second off his best so far. But yeah, you know what I mean. White Shark Jim, not under immediate threat from GTTCC at this minute in time. Pot holding P6. Fat Picklesbro and Robus have swapped positions, so something's up between those two. And I'm not going to go back and have a look at what it was. Matt Elwood, after his pit stop, has got the freshest tyres out of everyone in this top 9 or 10. But he finds himself a couple of seconds off any other car. So if you get yourself out of the pit, if you get yourself out of the slipstream here, it's kind of bad news. The slipstream is so OP down the main straight that not being in a slipstream train does cost you real lap time. Diablo up to P10 with the pit stop, followed by White Shark Phil, Street Boy, Valium after his pit stop, and Rick GTR. So a lot of the race positions now are going to be determined by who does what pit strategy. The top 2 are carrying on for a 13th lap on those tyres. No one else is bothering. Potts pulled the trigger, sponsored by Michelin. You'd think he would come in and get some new Michelin tyres on that Ferrari as well. That's going to give Matt Elwood technically a free place back. He can get on with the job of chasing down Robus to Hood now. Robus, who's dipped into the 40s, so yeah, he had a really bad lap 12, a 40.9 for Robus then. Every other lap really been in the 37s, 38s. So to do a 40.9, the guy behind him doing 37.6s. Yeah, Matt Elwood would have absolutely loved that last lap. He would have reeled him in. So 2/3 of the way through the race. I'm sure plenty more action to come. A somewhat cat and mouse-esque game between P1 Dylan and GTW rolls on for another lap. These guys are inseparable from the moment the lights went out. Delhi B this time going round the outside at turn 4. Later on the brakes, he's actually going to try and drive around the outside of Dylan. Always on the not so grippy bit on the outside. That's going to lose him some momentum. Dylan's going to be able to keep the outside line. It's going to take some heroics from the P1 driver to keep this. GTW is able to drive up the inside then. I was just going to say that that move was coming, I think. Delhi B was eyeing that up for a while, and when Dylan kept going wide there, I think that's where he decided it was going to happen. A bit of a recap of the order. We'll have a quick look. So we've got Mental Nerve out in P3, has been there pretty much since the JRC incident. White Shark Jim has slowly been reeling him in. JRC is in P5. Fat Pickles Bro has not yet pitted. Matt Elwood is the first car in this lineup that has pitted. Is up to P7 now. Potts also been in for fresh boots. He's in P8. White Shark Phil P9 for White Shark. He's also pitted. Diablo P10 for Diablo. P1 Valium in P11. Street Boy 12th. Rick in 13th. And Robustod in 14th. Sitting the rest of this one out by the looks of things, but this battle is not over between GTW and P1 Dylan. They roar it on for a 16th lap. We're down to just 5 minutes remaining now, so we'll cover this one uninterrupted till the end of the race. But the race, sorry, not just this battle. Dylan's going to do a Delhi on Delhi, and his exit's tied here, but Delhi just got a good drive off the inside. So for the time being, GTW remains in P1, but we know P1 Dylan's not a slow bloke, so we'll see if he gets that back. For the time being, I mean, these two lads are from Liverpool as well. I think they're both Scousers. I think so. I might be wrong on that. I know Dylan is, but I'm not sure about Delhi. I might have got that completely wrong, and now Delhi will message me and call me something obscene. We'll see. Oh, that was a bit risky there from Delhi. He's missed the apex. This could help Dylan out. He's going to get a better drive then. Dylan's just going to have much better momentum going up the hill. I think Delhi's been as affected by that as he probably should be. Completely missed the inside apex. That made him run wide on the outside. For the time being, remains in P1, but Dylan's going to try the outside. Doesn't make it work, but Delhi, I think, went wide there. They go side by side through the centre S's. And yet again, they emerge from the centre S's pretty much attached to each other. It's hard to take your eyes away from this battle, even just to do a quick field recap, because at any minute something could kick off on this one. Dylan is on the inside. Delhi B's going to struggle to hold that on the outside again, so he's going to go for the cutback, Delhi B. Again, they emerge from the corner side by side as they went in, but P1 Dylan just ahead, and crucially on the inside line here, GTW might have to concede this one. He's going to, of course, do no such thing, but P1 Dylan with the inside line is just able to easily defend that and hold that P1 station, but again, coming round to start another lap. Mental Lev still P3. White Shot Jim has caught him up a little bit, I would argue. White Shot Jim looks a little bit closer. JRC P5 just behind that little fight. Matt Elwood P6 back to where he qualified now. On fresh tyres can start attacking the cars ahead. Fat Picklesbo P7. Done a great job, Fat Picklesbo, considering he's not pitted. Consistent 1:38 lap time, so he's doing well. Pot him at pot. P8. We've got White Shot Phil in P9. Diablo in at P10. Valium is currently running in P11. Street Boy P12. Rick P13. Hard to take your eyes off this battle though as they go side by side again. It's T1. P1 Dylan with the inside line. It's going to come in the corner ahead. Is he going to emerge from the corner ahead? GTW, can he get a better exit? I go for the run down to turn 1 again. This is GTW's view. This is what he's been looking at for the entirety of the race, really. You can tell a Stewie Matt livery on that Ferrari that Dylan's rocking up ahead. Delhi's slightly earlier on the brakes. He's going to go for the exit. There was a Dylan in the way though, and Delhi wasn't able to get the drive out the corner that he desperately wanted. We've got a minute and a half left, so this is a penultimate lap for most drivers. Most will get round in time to start another lap. Most, if not all. Maybe Rick and that at the back might not, but we'll see. So like I say, these guys probably just racing for the fun of it. Racing for on good bragging rights, I guess, to take the win. They will both still take away winners' points, irrelevant of which one finishes second. So they're still going to come out of it with positive outcomes on their championship, let's just say. Dylan this time runs it wide. Delhi's going to get the drive up the inside. He's got the inside covered straight away as Delhi B. Dylan now is going to struggle to hold that unless he lets Delhi basically take the racing line. Lap 19 now, side by side again these guys go, going into the centre S's. Delhi went a little bit wide there. Dylan's going to hold that one on the outside. It's a lovely move by Dylan to get that, basically drive around the outside of Delhi there. We're going to take ourselves away from that battle in just a moment. Once again into sort of sector 2, we'll stop looking. And we'll just have to go and see what everyone else is up to. But yeah, P1 Dylan Final lap of the race now, so we'll see what he can do. GTW P2, Mantle left P3, White Shark Jim P4, not close enough yet. And we've got a big battle for P5 with Matt Elwood, JRC, Fat Pickles were involved in that one as well. Pop is P8, White Shark Phil P9, Diablo P10, then Street Boy P11, Valium P12 and Rick P13. They've all finished. Meanwhile though, we're coming on to the final couple of corners from Dylan and GTW. Who will emerge victorious? GTW could play a bit of a blinder. If he gets a better exit out of the last corner, he could slipstream. You see how powerful the slipstream is, but he needs a much better exit out of this corner here. And watch who clips the apex. Dylan arguably does a better job there than Delhi. He's going to get a good run out of the final corner. I don't think Delhi's going to have enough momentum, I guess, on the slipstream. They're going to go side by side, I think, through the final corner. But I think it's P1 Dylan who's going to emerge victorious in this one, in the Fusion and Pro 1 lobby. Mental Left takes up the final podium position. White Shark Jim P4, Matt Elwood P5. A good recovery from him, but side by side with JRC-Racing and Fat Pickles both right at the end. Pop P8, White Shark Phil P9, and Diablo is going to bring home P10. So that's your lot for this one. Tune in for the next video. I can't remember what the next track is, but we'll be covering that one on this channel, so come and have a look.